Alright, welcome ladies and gentlemen to the ConLostPro podcast. I'm here with the amazing Jake, the outstanding Will, myself Connor, minus our usual Brett. Unfortunately, he's had a dentist appointment. So he
needs to get his teeth fixed.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Or just checked up or something.
So we're filling in for him for a little bit and doing our own thing. But yeah, today we are going to try and answer the question, what makes games slightly dated? So what validates a remake or a rehash, and what would try and, I guess... Oh. No, what would you say?
Yes, fair enough.
What makes games dated, and what validates a rehash?
Well, I think a good point to jump into is that there is an evolving audience for games.
That is the first and foremost thing that makes a game dated.
When we look at what we expected from our games, you know, even a few years ago, it was a very different experience to what we expect now from our games. I mean, what Tomb Raider used to be to what it's turned into today. I mean, that's been a very, very long series, and now it's kind of got all these QuickTime events and a very solid storyline. The remake has been a complete overhaul, and it's because gamers expect a different experience from their game now, and it gets more for their money.
Yeah, I guess so. I think it's very much that sort of evolving audience where their changes have changed as time. So you wouldn't like the same things you would as you would a child. So you'd think, oh yeah, no, this Tomb Raider's got big boobs. This is amazing. No, you wouldn't think that now. And I guess your taste changes as you mature, I guess.
I agree. I mean, they've had to... This is generation gamers that have grown up now. So,
yeah.
What do you give them?
They're just completely... Yeah, they're all... Yeah, I think you've pretty much covered it, yeah. What do you give them?
Yeah.
What do you give them?
Yeah, I think we can see that almost with the Duke Nukem series. I think it's a very easy punching bag because it's pretty much stuck about 10 years before, well, where it should be, I guess. I think the humor is very much, I think, sort of outdated and horrible.
Everybody who played those games back then are a lot more mature now. And also, it was just a big pile of crap.
Oh, come on, no punching bag.
What, Duke Nukem Forever? That was...
That's fine. It had its things, but yes, its audience did grow up, so...
Audience grew up, and the gameplay mechanics and all of it was just way too dated and way too clunky.
Well, there's a point you made.
For the transition from 2.5D to 3D, which is another thing with graphics and technology is what also makes a game dated.
Agreed. It evolves, and the games either have to keep up or get left behind. And that might have been an aspect. While Duke Nukem Forever didn't grow with its audience, it also didn't grow with the current technology we had around it. Mainly probably because it hung in development for so long that to update it to new graphical interfaces, we would have had to completely remake the game.
And in a sense, they probably should have. I think it was very much stuck in this old development cycle of just, hey, we've got our original plan, we'll just stick to that and see what happens. And it sort of just got stuck in that sort of loop. Yeah. It was unfortunate. But yeah, I don't know, do you think it would have become a better game by them recreating or at least sort of updating it for more mature audiences?
Oh, of course. Certainly. Keeping the old charm in it, though, would have been key. Yeah. Because, you know, you're playing Duke Nukem, you're big badass, you're the... Yeah, I can't really chime in on this very well. I haven't played them.
Oh, that's fine. No, but you are...
I mean, I have played Forever.
You're addressing a key point here. We're talking about there's nostalgia that will drag a series through to its sequel or its remake. I mean, I don't know, what's a game that you will always pick up for nostalgia's sake? Even if people say the remake's crap, you'll always go back and have a crack at it. Is there a game like that for you guys?
Yeah, the original XCOM series.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that series to death, and I always go back to XCOM Alien UFO Defense. It's just, I don't know. It's nothing quite like the original.
See, that's curious. I think there are certain games where it's good on their own sort of merits. Like pretty much as you said, the XCOM series. I have never played any of the XCOMs, and I've just recently bought the newest one, and it was like, oh, this is actually really good. This is amazing, but I don't really have that nostalgia factor because, well, I never really used to play it.
It does hold up on its own, especially with the new, because they've almost completely remade the game with the original mechanics in mind. The original game was very turn-based, very roguelike in a sense, where every action you made affected your future, and you could just be at a point in the future where you've got no funding, you've got no fuel left for your things, and you've got no ammo for your weapons, and you just sit in the stagnation and die. That doesn't happen in the new one, because there's just so much stuff to counterbalance that. Well, it doesn't happen often anyway. It did happen to me one time in the new one. But, yeah.
I know a game that didn't change at all, but the remake I was still completely drawn to it was the was Abe's Oddysee.
Indeed. That was, I think, when was that remade? I think about a couple of years back, I think.
A couple of years back, no, it's very recent, man.
New and Tasty came out a couple of months ago?
Not even that, I think it's less than a month ago at this point.
I am woefully misinformed.
That is fine. But, I mean, that series, I grew up playing with Abe, and... sounds interesting. I grew up playing with Abe, and
didn't we all?
Oh yeah, and was so willing to just buy that game and give it another go at the remake, and it didn't change the mechanics so much. I mean, it was no longer tile-based movement, so now you had free movement, so you couldn't do your measured one step anymore. But I think that's the main mechanic that probably changed. Really, that changed the gameplay, because that was a massive gameplay factor. But you can also see now it's all actually 3D now. 3D backgrounds and 3D foreground. You're still doing technically an orthographic view, but this kind of, let's say maybe 2.5 or something, 2.5 view does allow for some very specific mechanics, like you can see hidden trapdoors now, which were apparently always there in the first game.
Oh yeah. Everywhere.
Yeah, but these were specifically hidden trapdoors now in this one that you've got different vantage point to view.
Okay.
Oh wow, I can actually see them now. All the secrets you remember still there. Do you guys remember the first secret, the room in the first room? And there's that barrel secret you go down.
Step back and go down the barrel.
Still there.
But you can see it better.
But you can see it better. No, you can't see that secret better. But there's other secrets you can see better. Like, do you remember the first room where you've got all the mines laid out? Yep. There's actually a trapdoor there if you go back and throw something over onto the mines.
Yeah, I knew about that one.
I didn't know about that one, and you can actually see you can see it there.
That is amazing. I never knew any of that existed.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Oh, that's curious. I think in sort of updating the graphical and sort of mechanics of it, they've almost improved the original game in its shortcomings, I guess.
Some would say no. Some would say that's not improving the game because they're taking away some of that mystery, that they found so nostalgic in the first one, so that they wanted to remember, but can't. It's like not there anymore for them, and that's
something difficult. Oh, sorry.
No, sorry. Yeah, or maybe that's sort of an issue there. That people are sort of going, no, the nostalgia is cool, like bringing through the entire game, but in fixing some of the jankiness in a couple of the mechanics, would that change the game itself? So I know, was it? Yeah, in the original Halo 1, I think they originally. They tried to... I think they're remaking it right now.
No, they've already remade it.
Halo 1, they've already remade it, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Combat Evolved been remade a while ago.
Yeah, they're currently remaking the second one, and the third one, and the fourth one.
Yeah.
For new consoles, for the Master Chief Pack collection.
Oh, it looks so fancy. But, yeah. I think I remember just the Warthogs in the game were incredibly janky, and that was kind of the fun of it, that they were pretty much shopping trolleys in an ice rink. They were so horrible and janky, but that was kind of the fun in it. And
That's a great description.
I loved it.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. And I'm not sure if they've... I don't know, did they fix it for the remake just quite recently?
I have no idea. Unfortunately, I'm not a console player.
I've got it actually sitting over there by my Xbox, but I haven't... I still love actually playing Halo 1 on PC. And that's the point. I still play Halo 1 on PC because it's a very, very good community to play with. It's a lot of fun. The servers are still running, and it's thoroughly enjoyable. And maybe that's another thing that's a new experience that has developed in gaming, was the presence of the MMO and online gaming. Networks developed. We could say recently, but
Okay.
Gaming used to be a solo endeavor, and in some experiences it still is. But now, I mean,
well, it's entirely multiplayer. But that said, I think there's a lot of I know I'd almost disagree with you there and say there was a lot of multiplayer experiences from pretty much day one.
Yeah, well, nowadays communities really make the games. It's especially with MMOs and just like all this the evolving audience again. As we evolve, the internet comes out. We expect multiplayer in our games, and a game without multiplayer is usually a game less played, unless the single player is so compelling, and so immersive.
I mean, it really depends, because, Skyrim was dropped smack bang in the middle of the multiplayer realm.
Very good example of immersive gameplay.
It was very immersive. And, honestly, I think I know a lot of people complain about Skyrim, so just some of the mechanics and the capacity to just break the game a bit, because if you run backwards, you can always defeat an enemy. But the reality of it is... maybe that benefits from not having an online multiplayer community that can nitpick it, because I found it amazing. I'll still play Skyrim.
Well, I think that was one of the... that's right. I think in a video I saw a while ago, that was the developers explaining their design practices for the game. They wanted to create a world where it was literally your world. Like, it was your own thing. You could do whatever you want. Your own thing. Literally the player. And I think it was more designed to be a single-player experience for that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But
especially, there's a way that the audience the multiplayer audience or the online audience still makes it into single-player games, and that's through mods.
That's very true.
Like, if they're not there to make the game better for themselves in the multiplayer, they're certainly there to make the game better in single-player with mods. Or at least... You've got these huge selections of mod to make the game to make the game exactly how you want it.
This is very true. I mean, that's a massive thing that does draw back to your original question: what makes games dated, and what deserves a remake? The mod is almost like the community remake.
It kind of is. It breathes new life into something that would usually just sort of piddle off into nothing. I think, there are so many Minecraft mods that it's literally reinvented the game over again.
It's true. It's ridiculous. Will, you were saying that you wanted a Minecraft 2.
Well, I believe it's not okay. A Minecraft 2 it's not quite how it's what I want is I'm sick. I still feel like Minecraft was never completed. It's still not released. That is what it feels like to me. And I believe they just need to stop development on the original one, bring out a complete thing. And then call it Minecraft 2 and then continue on with what they were doing.
Okay, I misinterpreted what you said before that. That's fair enough. I'm under the impression that Minecraft's the game that's never finished.
Yeah, that's what makes me angry about it.
Well, I'm okay with that.
I like it. I love it. I was one of those guys that played Minecraft in the bloody alpha. Like before Infinite Generation. That's when I started playing.
Yeah, around these days we only got 200 by 200 blocks and we liked it.
Yeah. I played that game before there was even crafting in it.
It was just mine.
You just punch wood and it was just it. It was absolutely amazing.
It was actually a terrible game back then.
That's right. But more to the point, it is mods. Mods do keep a game from becoming dated because...
Oh, very much.
Well, it might not even be the fact that there's... besides the fact that there's modders which will update the interface and the gameplay mechanics, it also creates an immersive contributing community. And the reality is, if you can have interaction with your community to the point where they get to build and create the game around what you desire and what you want in it, well, that's a powerful community. That's a powerful tool to produce content.
Like, it pretty much, you don't have to recreate the game yourself. You just sort of propagate a community and they do it for you, I guess.
Insane, yeah.
Yeah.
So what we can say here is what validates a remake in a game is the lack of community participation anymore.
So if there's no...
The fact that the fans have literally left the game alone and gone for, greener pastures. What validates a remake is bringing that game into a modern world and updating its mechanics. Like, you couldn't bring an older game. Like, you couldn't bring the exact same game just with fancier graphics into this world because the mechanics wouldn't hold up. Not as well. Well, that's very evident with Duke Nukem. The mechanics are still the same.
That's fair enough, but I'm going to just bring out a valid point against this, is the Doom games.
The Doom games, yes.
I mean, the Doom games have been the same game mechanically each time they've been the same game, story-based, at least
Yeah, I think it's very, very simplistic sort of storyline of just, you're on Mars, kill the things, done.
But the game, the actual graphical interface has increased drastically. And you know, I'm not complaining because I love it. I think it's a fantastic, scary game for me. I played that when I was a kid, and I'll still play the next one that they'll bring out. And that's something that's held up purely on updating its graphical interface for modern times. Mm-hmm. In saying that, there's a massive community that still mod and play the original Dooms. We've got a friend who's...
Oh, yeah, I think our intrepid Liam. He regularly shows off the original Doom, which is, I think it's the...
Brutal Doom.
Brutal Doom. That's right, yes.
Which is just pretty much made original Doom to today's standards. It's added a bunch of mechanics like, you know, aiming down sights, actual aiming.
Gibs.
It's still the same
So many gibs.
It's the same graphical interface. It's just brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so some people will keep playing. Like, I still play Halo 1. We've got friends that still play the original Dooms. I know you guys... Did you say you still play the Half-Life?
Oh, yes, that's a good point. I think the original Half-Life, I really, really, really like it. It's the best.
It is a very, very good game.
It is so good. And I was amazed when a whole bunch of people, like a modding community, created the Black Mesa mod. That was literally... It updated Half-Life to, I think, the Source 2?
In the Source Engine 2, or the Source... No, in just the Source Engine. They don't have... I think Source 2 is only just released, or is about to be released.
Again, woefully misinformed. We apologise, good audience. But, essentially, it was brilliant. It was pretty much the exact same game, the Half-Life 1, but they had updated a lot of the physics, all of the incredible jankiness to it. Mm-hmm. I think there were even rooms that... in the first game were incredibly sort of either really repetitive or just broken in general.
Well, also, they've made the game a lot more atmospheric, adding a soundtrack. Those like small musical pieces when you're walking into an area and the music starts playing, you're just like, this suits it perfectly. I'm getting assaulted by all these Marines, and it fits perfectly, and that wasn't in the original game.
Yeah, they just started shooting at you. And I think it was very much up to you if you decided to actually listen to them and figure out why they were shooting at you.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But yeah, I think the mechanics of the original Half-Life 1, pretty much, it was the exact same game. But again, it was sort of updated and made kind of more awesome. So, I'm not sure. I think it's almost the balance between nostalgia and just how janky it is. Sorry. Yeah.
Just fact checking. Yeah, I've just gone into Polygon here, and apparently the title of this is, did Valve just soft launch the Source 2 engine?
Yeah, my friend was talking about this the other day. He was just looking at his tools in Steam, and there was a whole bunch of, you know, like these Source tools, number 2, come out. So... that's what made me second guess if Source 2 is out or not yet.
Well, this was released on this article was released on the 7th of August.
Yeah.
And yeah, apparently it was just, they're saying, Valve appears to have stealthily soft launched the long-awaited Source 2 engine alongside the overnight release of workshop tools for Dota 2.
Yeah.
Dota modders are suggesting this. Okay, cool. So... yes, apparently...
Source 2 is out, but Black Mesa Black Mesa, whatever it's called. It's just called Black Mesa.
It is Black Mesa, yeah.
It's just Black Mesa is made in Source 1.
And the amazing thing the amazing thing was that it was completely fan-made. That it was just, alright, we really like this game, we'll just recreate it. And it was such a powerful community that can literally just go, hey, no, this is a good game, we'll just create it. We'll just create all of that sort of stuff.
Just one more game I'll bring up for modding, and then we'll derive back to original topic, was the Diablo II mod by Brother Lazarus, Median XL. Completely remade the game. Completely changed it. It was such a good mod that Blizzard paid Brother Lazarus to continue making the mod by himself.
Cool.
Exceptional mod that just changed all the mechanics, added new monsters, added new levels. It just expanded the game. It was basically, if Diablo 2 was too easy for you, then you could go play this one. It would start you off at the same difficulty, or you could turn up the difficulty in-game, like as you go. I'm going to turn it up, turn it down here. And then progressively you got to just impossible levels where like you'd have to be fighting an enemy with a specific item that gave you a specific ability, but it wouldn't tell you that you had that ability. You just had to know that through reading the lore in the game. All of a sudden the lore was important in Diablo 2, which not everyone paid attention to. Yes, very, very successful mod that has still got a community backing it today. He's only about, I want to say a year and a half ago was when he just stopped making it.
Wow. Well, probably for the release of Reaper of Souls. Well, pretty much Diablo 3 and the really like when it was just picking up again. Which because that seems to have grabbed most of the old like people playing Diablo 2.
Yeah, because I think everyone was. I mean, there was a remake, a sequel in the series that was kind of received a lot of hate from its fan base, mainly because they polished it almost too much.
Yep.
Where we liked, I mean, I was a Diablo 2er, and I liked the broken mechanics. I liked the fact that if you exited a game while your body was dead and you didn't have your loot on you, you were going to lose that stuff. You had to do corpse runs, so it eliminated the corpse runs. You had to, when you were, doing boss runs with people for loot, you had to scramble for loot drops because there's one set of loot drops for everyone. It almost made it more diplomatic, and I mean, and also made you couldn't farm items and sell them on eBay anymore because they made their own auction house and they account locked items, and
now they've just completely gotten rid of the auction house and everything's just account locked. But they've made it so much easier to get legendaries, but it's not necessarily a good thing, but everyone seems to be loving it now. Like, my friends who hardcore play Diablo 3 absolutely love the new changes they're bringing out, especially the ones coming in the newest patch soon.
Interesting. So it would, I don't know, it's almost that adding of new content or sort of the polishing of what's already there that created a really good experience, I guess.
Well, yeah, Blizzard, back to the what validates a remake, back to Blizzard. Blizzard is exceptional at doing this.
This is true, yeah. We can call them sequels opposed to remakes, because they do progress the storyline.
I like thinking about Duke Nukem. The remake, was 10 years in the making, and we were kind of leading towards that's what made it bad, but it's because it swapped companies so many times. Every single one of the recent remakes that Blizzard's done have been 10 years in the making. StarCraft 1 to StarCraft 2, 10 years of solid, of on and off work, I'm guessing. I'm actually not sure about the whole development cycle. They were probably working on other projects, expanding their stuff in 10 years. But, when StarCraft 2 finally released, it was an incredible game. The single player wasn't fantastic, but the multiplayer held up. And most of the community, especially, it was probably really hard to get the Korean community to move to StarCraft 2.
I mean, I guess they had to balance the mechanics better for them to want to, because it's also an esport.
That's what I meant.
Oh, yes. But, I mean, highlighting the fact that it's an esport, that means people are highly trained. It's like saying, we've reweighted the soccer ball.
So, we've just brought out Soccer 2.
We've brought out Soccer 2.
Please transition.
Changed to Soccer 2. And, everyone is... they changed, not that long ago, they actually changed the basketball that they use in the NBA, which was a massive difference. It was actually had a different grip and was slightly weighted differently, and there was a massive ordeal behind that. So that was essentially basketball 2 in a sense as well.
Right.
But they did get the transition over to StarCraft 2. In saying that, there's still a dedicated fan base for StarCraft 1 as well.
Oh, yeah. They've still got, GOM TV... which is a very big StarCraft Korean channel. It was actually a TV channel at one point. I think it might still be GOM TV. They have casters. They have all sorts of things, but they were specifically StarCraft 1. And then when StarCraft 2 came out, they had this new American audience that was also big for StarCraft. But it was also StarCraft 1 was also not huge in America. But it was enormous in Japan, in Korea, in South Korea. And GOM TV was made it big.
Yeah. No, that sounds good. We've actually got a friend of ours. You guys all know Brett. I remember
I've heard of him.
Yeah, you've heard of him.
He's an enigma.
He's not here today, but he did actually. He's a designer. He's a game designer specifically, and he loves retweaking mechanics and such, and really getting in there with the nitty-gritty, builds fantastic design trees of how storylines work and balancing and such. He rebalanced Warcraft and added another playable character that was perfectly balanced with the rest of them, and see how it fits in.
That's awesome.
He never wrote the mod in, he just designed the hell out of it. And we'll put that in a link in the Doobly-Do below. So you guys can all check out something that Brett's achieved and Brett's done with it, because I think it's very much worth having a look at if you were a Warcraft player.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was a. I would love to read that.
yeah, it's quite incredible. He's very, very good at Excel spreadsheets, exceptionally so.
Oh yeah, so was it the loot system he created and all sorts of things that was literally a whole bunch of just Excel sheets, and just put in a couple of values and then create just loot that had been so highly developed that it was just, oh no, that makes sense. That you totally put that in something like Diablo or something.
Yeah,
it was amazing. But yeah, anyway, I think I reckon we're pretty good on this sort of topic.
Yes, final thoughts, everyone?
Yeah, final thoughts. So what makes games dated? Will, what do you reckon?
What makes games dated is the evolving community. The community leaving the game is what makes it die in the end, I would say. And what brings it back, what validates a remake is the community, like, wanting it back.
Yeah, I guess if there was be enough of a cause to people just go, oh wait, no, we really goddamn like, I don't know, it's Tex Murphy or something.
What a lot of developers seem to forget is it's the community, it's their audience, that, the consumer that really drives their industry.
I guess it is, and it would be kind of just, you'd almost cater to a particular audience, that if there's an audience that wants that game there, well, there's a lot of money in there, and I guess you'd want to, well, I guess a publisher would just go, oh yeah, no, there's an already established community, therefore you don't have to create something from nothing. Yeah, well, I like that idea.
There is a slightly bleak view which you put that there as well. Video games are an industry, and the reality is what validates Remake is, will it make money as well? And it's while it sounds unfortunate, sometimes playing off people's nostalgia will make you money. But in saying that, we can also create new titles if a remake will allow for more money into the company.
Yeah, so it would almost be, I guess, a more money-making device rather than just, oh wait, no, we really like this game, we should totally do a thing about it.
Well, that's the thing, we never discussed that, is it? That brands are valuable. Brands are extremely valuable. So the Abe's Oddysee brand, with all the nostalgia attached to it, all the memories attached to it, becomes something, and the household name, basically, as far as PlayStation games are concerned, along with like Gran Turismo and things like that. It's a very valuable name. I mean, that's why Duke Nukem was sold so much to different companies, because it was a very valuable, what would you call it? Yeah, brand in that time.
It was a hot potato that was going around and was going to be great, but they let it go cold.
That's fine.
Yeah, it kind of did. It got mouldy and horrible and left you with a bad taste. And possibly poison you.
I think that's my final thought, to be honest, is that brands are valuable. There's two things that validate a remake. One is within economics, and if it will further a company, if it's worth money. The other thing that validates a remake comes from a fan basis and a love. So money from one side, love from another side, depending on what stance your company has. I don't think the inhabitants of Oddworld did the new and tasty remake because they had such love for their old game, maybe. I think they knew that it was going to be profitable and probably fund many other projects.
Okay.
Same with the Halo franchise, probably. There's people still playing your game, so you probably don't need a remake for the love of it. A remake probably helps for the cash influx and the new consoles.
Yeah, and I'm almost saying my final thoughts was just reciprocating what you're saying. It's just, I think it's part love of what you're doing in that, hey, it's the game we made, we should totally recreate that and then fix all of these issues and all sorts of things. I think if you talk to any dev, they will love their game so much that they'll say, oh, wouldn't it have been awesome if we added this feature, and would have been cool if we added this graphical sort of input and all this sort of jazz. And yeah, you can tell they really wanted to keep on creating it, but they needed to stop themselves from becoming, well, just creating sort of a Frankenstein monster.
Don't overscope. Don't if you overcapitalize on your game, you'll go broke and you won't make another game.
Yeah, and I guess the remake or rehash is sort of an it's sort of a way of recreating your game and saying, all right, no, I want to do it my way instead of the way we were supposed to do back in the day or something.
That's fair call.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for listening to us. This has been the ConLostPro podcast. You can go find more of our content, including articles and comics and such, at ConLostPro.com.
We just went live. It's so fancy.
Yeah. We've got a link just down below. You'll be able to see art from our comic artist, Adam Aldridge. You'll be able to see articles from Connor Lock Warburton.
Yep.
Yeah, I got it. And there's many more videos, including Let's Plays and vlogs and such on our YouTube channel. Like, comment, and subscribe, and tell us more things in the Doobly-Do below. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the matter.
Boy, I would love some feedback.
We'd really love some feedback.
Or just literally anything. Just say hi.
Just tell us. Just say things.
Say things. It's okay.
Say things. We like things. Please say things.
We can talk.
Yeah.
Bye.
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 Good.